I watch Big Brother specifically for the gameplay and the strategy. But if Big Brother is going to give us these soap opera moments, then I'm going to comment on them, and I'm going to do so briefly. I'm Sage Valentine, for those of you who don't know. Welcome to my channel. This is my recap/review of CBS's Big Brother Season 21, episode number 31. Let's get down to it. Pretty much Holly was being gaslit in that segment, and I'll go into what I noticed further, but that's all you need to know. Jackson is not the average 24-year-old, because Jackson is what they call a change of life baby. I'm sure a lot of people have heard that saying, but that saying applies to children who are born of parents who are older than the average parents. It's usually a child that's born in the time when their mother is going through what they call the change or menopause. And the thing about Jackson is he has these old sayings. He acts like an older person. He thinks like an older person. And it's just the different stuff that he does in this game. And Kat and Holly made the biggest mistake, and I tweeted about this. If you check my Twitter, you'll see the tweet. They made the biggest mistake in thinking that he could be manipulated and controlled because he was 24. No, he's a 24-year-old change of life baby. A completely different animal, so to speak. Someone who thinks like an older person. Someone who was taught by older people. Someone who isn't easily manipulated. They're usually the manipulators. It doesn't mean that all change of life babies are like this, but there's a percentage that is, and Jackson is coming across as that percentage that is. So, this week Jackson's the HOH. Christy and Jessica are his nominees. Jackson's like his target is pretty much Jessica. He has a deal with Christy, but listen, if Christy ends up going home, he could care less. He wants one of them gone. It is what it is. Jessica feels stupid, mad, in denial, and played. Yeah, sounds about right. You were played heavily, but you wanted to be with the popular and the in crowd, and you went along with all the things that they did instead of cultivating your game. I think Jessica thought that by fitting in with them, it would keep her safe. And the fact that she went into that HOH competition and basically jumped down, because from that video, it tells a completely different story than her diary room session. Like, she just kind of jumped down dramatically. Even though last night on TVCO, I had one of my followers say, well, you know, she's of a larger size, so she had to fall a certain way. She did so dramatically, in my opinion, so that they would keep her, because they'd say, oh, poor Jessica, and keep her another week. But as the old folks say, it ain't that type of party when it comes to Jackson. So Jessica's like, her friend is Christy, and she loves her. She doesn't want to be on the block next to her. She's all upset. Christy's just like, I'm tired of being on the block, but listen, when all is said and done and I'm still here, my contract with Holly and Jackson will be over, and then I can do what I plan on doing. Jessica is talking to Tommy and Christy, and she's like, I cannot be mad at anybody other than myself. She's taking up the responsibility. Sounds about right. She fought to prove things about people like her. I'm assuming she's talking about plus-sized people, plus-sized women in the game of Big Brother. And she wanted to prove that she can do things regardless of her size. She's hurt, but she said she's going to use her feelings to win the veto. Then Big Brother decides to give us some background. Mostly it was for the casual viewers who heard about Jackson and Holly's fight, but didn't know what caused it. And pretty much Holly's talking to Jackson and Nicole, and she brings up this fun thing about having a Q&A to get to know people. But if Holly was really a fan of this game, she would know that Q&A idea was a bad idea, because it damn sure didn't work for Dominique back in season 19. So that's probably one reason why Jackson was like, yeah, I don't want to do this. No, I'm not going to reveal all this stuff to CBS. Speaking of which, like, the fact that he keeps saying something about CBS proves that somebody's talking to him, and telling him what we're saying. Again, as I've said before, I thought these house guests were supposed to be sequestered and are not supposed to know what's happening outside of the house. And it seems like these house guests are aware of what's going on, and it's kind of ruining the feeds a bit because it's better when they don't know so we can see how they react. So I don't know what's the plan this year for Big Brother, but I digress. Now, poor Nicole is kind of sitting there chilling while Jackson and Holly are fighting kind of back and forth, and Jackson's pretty much being an a-hole. Holly calls him out for being condescending towards her once Nicole takes a hint, and Nicole's like, I'm out of here, but she does so in a funny way, like, I'm out of here, I'm going to go head downstairs, see what everybody's doing. In other words, I'm going to get the hell out of Dodge before you two start swinging. I'm joking. They probably wouldn't have started swinging, but still, I'm glad Nicole left the room. So Holly's talking to us in the diary room, and she said, there's no space in this house to get a break from him, because usually when she's frustrated, she'll go on a hike with her dog or something. And I talked about that I think in a previous review or one of my other reviews, and on TVCO I say that a lot. You know, these people are stuck in a house with these people, and when they piss them off, if they go out in the backyard, they still can't get away from that person. And it's really bad when they get sequestered in the house because Big Brother has to set up for whatever competition's about to happen in the next 12 hours as such, and then they gotta like see that person regardless where the hell they go, even if it's to the bathroom. And the way that scene was edited at first, it tried to make it seem like Jackson was a good guy and Holly was kind of being, you know, a bit extra. And I could see on Twitter where some of the viewers who don't have the feeds were kind of like, what's going on with Holly? Why is she acting this way? I'm like, no, this is how Jackson is in the house in general. And I feel like Holly manifested all of this stuff. She held it in and it finally came out, and this week Holly is dealing with her period. Again, we have another menstruating house guest. Sorry guys, I know it's TMI, but I'm gonna have to tell you all this stuff. Anyway, she has her period. She's not feeling well and he's getting on her nerves. So if she's reacting this way towards him, then that's how she really feels towards him. She just suppresses it so that she won't get into an argument with him. But the best time to tell if a woman likes you or not, or if a woman's mad at you or not, is to see how she reacts to you during her period. That's all I'm going to say for that. And that's the same that can apply to Holly in this situation. So then we get to the segment where the house guests have to pick a player for veto. Jackson chose Nicole, Christy chose Tommy, Jessica got house guest choice, and she chose Cliff. And as soon as she chose Cliff, I was just like, yeah, he's not going to use the veto to save you. I didn't even need to see that extra thing where he said it, like, he is not saving you at all. Not at all. So later on, we see the next segment where Holly was blown off by Jack. She gave him, okay, not Jack. She was blown off by Jackson because she gave him coffee. And he said absolutely nothing to her. And people were saying on Twitter, you know, she's bugging. She's bugging. I'm like, no, she's not. Doesn't that sound familiar? Didn't somebody do that last season to somebody else? Bailey? Tyler. Remember Tyler stopped talking to Bailey the week she was nominated? And that's how the whole Haley's house meeting thing and Bailey finally let go of everything she held in. Yeah. You can tell Jackson's been watching this game because he did the exact same thing with Holly. The difference was that Holly was not nominated. Well, Holly decided, rather than pulling him to the side, she decided to wait till he was basically in the living room, and she went up to him and she's just like, why didn't you say good morning to me? Like, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I don't want to talk about it right now in the living room. Classic gaslighting technique number 1. He really didn't want to talk about it in front of Cliff, Christy, and Tommy. I'm like, yeah, but if she came up to you, he could have said, you know, let's go upstairs and let's talk about it. But you see what he was doing. This is all a part of his gameplay, in my opinion. And he felt like he did not deserve the way that Holly was talking to him, and now she called him, I think it was an effing asshole or something like that. Anyway, later on, Holly was in one of the rooms downstairs. I think it was the boat room or something. Was it the boat room? Some of these rooms like look familiar, but anyway, she was laying down and Christy came to talk to her, and Holly's like, you know, he just ignored me and I'm all upset. And then Christy comes up with this thing and I'm just like, God, Christy, why do you do this? And she was like, you know, guys don't know how to handle communication. Let me stop you right there. Everybody knows how to communicate. Unless you have something like mentally wrong with you to the point where communication is not something that you can do. You express yourselves in other ways, but everyone knows how to communicate. They brought up the fact that he was 24. It means absolutely nothing because 24-year-olds know how to communicate. Children know how to communicate. The thing is, Jackson's playing games with Holly, and in playing this game, he has to act like he can't communicate, and here comes Christy to make excuses for him. He didn't need those excuses. He's doing exactly what he wants to do to her so that when it comes time for him to cut her off, and that'll probably come sooner than later, it won't hurt. He's only thinking for himself. See, this is why showmances are dangerous, and everybody wants to get into a showmance. But this is the stuff that used to happen in early Big Brother, and history is repeating itself. And I'm just like, you know, he knows what he's doing to her. He just doesn't give a damn, to be honest. And then later on, we see Holly and Jackson having a bit of a heated chat in the HOH where Jackson continues to gaslight her. And Big Brother didn't show the whole clip, but there's a part of that fight where you hear Jackson saying, you're saying all this stuff and you look bad on camera and you're making me look bad to my family and all this stuff. And don't you look bad? You look terrible up here crying, like trying to tear her trying to tear her down. Gaslighting technique number 2. Make the person appear like they are overreacting or they're going crazy. And that's exactly what he did. And if you want to see what he really did, go on Twitter, look it up. You'll find a video of it because it doesn't seem like Big Brother is covering this stuff up. So in situations like this, or in a situation like this is exactly how Jackson has been in this house. So the idea that his mom is suing CBS because of a bad portrayal of her son, the reason people don't like him is because of what they see on the feeds. It has nothing to do with the TV series. Maybe 2% of the people are upset about what they see on TV. No, it is what's seen on the feeds. And we see it unedited. So, watching that clip the first time triggered me, and I was just like, I can't watch this because I'm getting gaslit, so I turned it off. And I'm usually not bothered by things like that, but I was like, I gotta turn this off because it's making me mad. It's giving me Zakiya and Paulie vibes. Remember that whole fight back in season 18? That whole mess. I said, I can't go through that again. And pretty much that clip that they showed us in this episode showed that Jackson is a monster. Then Big Brother moved on to the veto competition, which it was a version of my least favorite competition because they end up tearing up the house, and you always get that one person who is a bit extra and decides to really destroy the house, and that person was Jackson. He found the most life preservers, but he went above and beyond to find it. Like certain things he was pulling down, he didn't even need to. It was like he had some pent up rage and he felt the need to pull out everything. And I'm just like, dude, you're acting like you guys don't have to clean this house when all is said and done. And I'm more than sure people do not want to be cleaning up cereal all on the floor, milk all on the floor, things like that. Because over the years, people have done crazy things like that. And Jackson went above and beyond. So pretty much Tommy ended up winning the veto competition because his life preserver was the only one that was not found by someone. And some people on Twitter were calling that out, saying that it was fixed that Tommy found it. I'm just trying to figure out how he found that life preserver so quickly. I might have to rewatch the episode to see myself. So then we see Holly walking up to Jackson later on, and this is pretty much their makeup segment, or really on her side more than his side. She's apologizing to him. Gaslight technique number 3. Make the victim feel like they're crazy, feel like they did something wrong, so they'll come back and they'll apologize to you. Holly said that she was emotionally depleted and she hopes that he's not turning on her, and he says he's not, and I'm like, yeah, I got a bridge to sell you. In fact, you can have all 3, 4, 5, 6, however many bridges are in New Jersey at this point. If you think he's not turning on you after what he did, he's definitely turning on you. Jackson basically says that they can make it as a pair to finale night if they forget about the personal stuff. So right there, he's showing Holly that he has separated his emotions from the game. That is something that's very difficult to do, but it is also a trait of somebody who's used to doing that in life, who's used to separating their emotions from their actions in life. Because with Big Brother, people tend to show their true colors, and Jackson has definitely been showing his true colors this entire season. Holly wants to keep Jackson in her life. I was just like, sweetheart, when you get home and you see these tapes and you see everything that he has done to you, you're going to want to sit down and talk to somebody before you even think about that. And then they, quote unquote, she and Jackson make up. Later on, we get to the veto ceremony. Tommy chose to use the veto to save Christy. Is anybody surprised? Anyone? Anyone at all? Anyone? Is my stuffed animal over there surprised? I think he might be surprised. I wasn't surprised at all. Not at all. And then Jackson chose Cliff as a replacement because he said that Cliff hinders Jackson's chances to make it to finale night. Then we get to the final diary room segment. Tommy said he was not worried to use the veto on Christy because they have to come together to fight to the end because he no longer has any other allies in the house other than her. Cliff is the pawn at this point, says Jackson. And he said that Jessica is the last wild card in the house. Wild card in the house, and he has to get rid of that wild card. Jessica's sad and says she's going to have to get scrappy. Cliff hopes that he is not secretly the target. Christy wants to try to save Jessica, and she said that Cliff is a huge boulder in her way of winning Big Brother 21. So, that's about it for episode 31. Tomorrow, at 8:45, I'm going live on YouTube to chat with you guys all about the double eviction. We'll watch the episode together. You'll probably see my face as I'm watching it and you'll hear it, but we'll watch it together and we'll chat all about it together. Live, 8:45 Eastern, because I live on the East Coast. How that translates to California, I think that's like 5 o'clock, I think. In the Midwest, I'm not sure. Might be 7, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'll be live. I will have that review done before midnight, because I'm going to try to take notes, but I'm going to be chatting with you guys as well, so I may have to watch the episode again. I'm warning you now. Sunday, I will be back to review another episode. Tuesday, I will be live on TVCO to do another live Big Brother 21 chat. Wednesday, I will do my review. Thursday, I will do another review, unless, of course, the YouTube live goes well and you guys want me to chat with you again about Big Brother, then we can do it again. But check me out tomorrow, 8:45 Eastern. I will be live on YouTube. I'm excited. Hopefully there are no technical difficulties. But anyway, let me know what you thought of tonight's episode, how things went, what you thought of the fight, and mostly how you think that double eviction is going to go, because I have no idea. I'm done trying to figure out what's going to happen. I would rather hear you guys and hear what you have to say, because it's a mess. This season's just a mess, and I'm counting down the days till it's over. But I love you all. Take care. Bye, guys. Love you all. Bye. See you tomorrow. 8:45 live here. Bye.